super simple Hainan chicken made at home. Hainan chicken is pretty popular in Singapore and Malaysia, but you can also find them in other Chinese restaurants or Hong Kong style cafes. I think the last time we bought Hainan chicken, the price was like $35 for a whole chicken plus 5 bowls of rice. And my chicken is a free run chicken. It's only $11. So there's a huge amount of savings there, and you know exactly what's going in it. And as you can see from the ingredients, there really is not much to it. You can find this recipe on my blog, flolum.com. Just search for Hainan chicken. I am using 6 stalks of green onion. I never know how to measure ginger. Like a fist size of ginger that I'm going to slice up, and 3 cloves of garlic, a whole chicken, and some salt.
So if you have tiny hands or ginormous paws, you might get a different result.
It doesn't really matter. The more ginger you put in, the more flavorful it's going to be.
Gotcha.
The other difference is that instead of in a pot of water and in a wok, I am going to be using a pressure cooker to make this today.
Huh. Wait, that's not...
The pot that's covered with electrical tape?
Yeah, the unknown pot with the mysterious black electrical tape.
Well, Kasori reached out to me and sent us a pot to try out to give them an unbiased review of the pot. So that's what we're going to do today.
But instead of doing the unboxing and talking about all the technical details, we're just going to run it through its paces in an actual recipe.
Yep, so let's do this. I'm slicing up my ginger into just large slices. And you know what? You don't have to use all this ginger. If you don't want, you can use, like, I would say at least half of it. But I'm going to stuff the whole thing in there anyways. So let's just quickly go over the things that you get when buying a kasori. It's an H-in-1. It comes with a 6-quart inner pot and it's stainless steel. It also comes with your rice paddle, a soup ladle, a rice measuring cup, an extra silicone ring, a glass lid, silicone ring already in the pressure cooker lid, and a stainless steel steamer rack. There's quite a bit of stuff, right?
Yeah. Stuff that with other cookers you have to buy as extra accessories.
So one thing I did find about the inner pot is that the finishing underneath the lip, I can feel the metal filings and it gets caught on my microfiber cloths when I'm cleaning it. So if they can come up with a better quality control on the pot, that would be great. So unfortunately, because the steamer rack, one, is quite high when I put it into the pot, and because of this ring and post in the middle, I can't actually put my chicken in there without stabbing it right in the middle, which I don't want to impale my chicken.
Die, chicken!
So, fortunately, I do have a little trivet that came with my Instant Pot that fits perfectly into the kasori as well. So I'm going to use that. First thing I'm going to do is put a cup of water at the bottom. And then I'm going to stuff my chicken with all the ingredients. I'm just going to hold my green onion, put it into the cavity of the bird, plus the 3 cloves of garlic that I had smashed, and I'm going to put half the ginger into the cavity. You don't want to stuff it too much because you want the bird to cook through properly. So I'm just going to stick half of the ginger in here, and then the other half I'm just going to toss into the pot itself. And just put it at the bottom of the trivet. Okay. gonna put the bird, oh, can I show you? I just tuck the wings in behind so that they're kind of out of the way. And I'm just going to lift it up and put it in the pot, breast side up. Then I'm just gonna salt the chicken, about a teaspoon. Okay, locking the lid into place, making sure that the sealing valve is on locked, and they do have little icons on there for lock and venting, so make sure that this knob is on locked. I'm using the manual button and it defaults to medium pressure, so I have to press pressure, adjust that to high, and then change my cook time. I've already calculated that my 3-pound chicken, I use 5.5 minutes per pound for cooking, and that comes to 16.5 minutes. So I am going to use 17 minutes, rounding up. Sorry, cook time. Oops, it goes into weird increments if you hold it down.
It's trying to save you time.
Yeah, but it's not really. 16.5. Okay, so 17 minutes. And then I have to hit start. As I mentioned earlier, you can adjust the pressure levels to 6 different levels. I personally prefer cooking at high pressure because of the style of cooking that I use. And I like to be able to pressure cook in the least amount of time at the highest pressure. However, if you are doing using more delicate ingredients, then you can choose the different pressure levels that gives you better control over the texture of those ingredients, which I think is pretty cool. While the chicken is cooking, I am making my green onion and ginger condiment that is served with Hainan chicken. And I only have 5 green onions left, but the recipe in the blog says 6, which is fine.
And that's also because our family loves this condiment.
So much that I always have to make extra. So this might be a lot. And you may want to actually cut it in half. The most work goes into making this condiment.
Really?
Yeah, it's the chopping of the onions and the grating of that ginger. Mind you, you know what? You can put everything into a food processor, and I've had that in restaurants where it just comes out in this like green paste, but it's just not the same because I like the texture of the green onion and the ginger.
That's very true. It's about the texture, and when you run it through a food processor, it's kind of like a pulverized. Well, it's just a pulp.
Yeah. I'm just gonna chop the white and light green parts a little bit more. So honestly, I don't like having big pieces of onion in my mouth. I know dude will beg to differ.
Oh, I feel for those large pieces of onion.
I know, look at that. All right, I'm gonna put all this into a bowl. Okay, and we're just going to grate this ginger. Again, it's like a giant fist of ginger. Basically, you want about equal parts ginger and green onion. So whatever that looks like.
And you cleaned it so well.
I did. I scrubbed it with a fruit and veggie cloth, which I love. And you can peel or not peel. If you don't peel it, just make sure that you wash it very, very well. And the skin is actually quite good for you. But if you decide you want to peel, that's fine too. Not peeling it gives it kind of a rustic look to it, if I can say that. So normally what I would do is heat up some oil in a wok and add that to the ginger and green onion. But today, because I'm not using the wok, I'm just gonna use about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of vegetable or canola oil. Stir it up. And then I'm gonna stick it in the microwave for like a minute. Totally cheating today. So I'm a little bit disappointed because the formula that I use to make roast chicken in the pressure cooker usually works for me. So I did have to put the chicken back in for another 12 minutes, and I am hoping that it is completely cooked through now. The working pressure in the Instant Pot on high pressure ranges from 10.2 to 11.6 psi, and on the Kasori, the high psi is 10. I think that factors in because it's working at a lower range than the Instant Pot. So my calculations didn't work for the chicken in the Kasori. I had to cook it for a total of 29 minutes, which is way more than what I would normally do. What did I say earlier? For a 3-pound chicken, it's 17 minutes. And I've never had a problem before.
It's ready.
All right.
Do it.
Should be fine. All right. So as soon as the timer's done, cook time is done, release the pressure. I have a giant bowl of very cold water, and I'm going to put the chicken in there. Well, it looks good.
You're looking for a place to put the lid?
I know. There's no place to put the lid. Dump out as much of the liquid as possible, and it's going to go straight into this very cold water. I would recommend ice water, but I never have ice at home. And the reason for this is so that the skin will release itself from the cooked meat and also give it a different texture because we've stopped the cooking. We're going to let it sit in there for 10 minutes. Just going to pour out the liquid into a measuring cup. And I'm going to use it to make my rice. So I'm just going to use the same pot, not rinsed or anything. And I'm going to go wash my rice. All right, so I poured out my broth that was at the bottom of the pot, and I'm going to skim this oil, and I have this oil skimmer. I don't know if it'll fit in here, but I want the oil, and it takes the oil and it drains out the broth. So I'm going to put that back into the pot. Because normally what I would do if I was cooking this rice in the wok is I would have saved a piece of fat from the chicken butt area, and used that to render some of that fat to use in the rice. I am going to use the saute function, and it gives you a temperature that it's going to cook at, so that's fine, just their normal temperature. And the default is 20 minutes, but you can change that too, I believe. But I don't think I need that much time. I'm just going to let it go and start. And then it'll tell me when it's heated up to that temperature. So hopefully there's about 2 tablespoons of fat in there. I don't know if you can see. It's kind of rendering off some of the liquid that was left over.
Yeah, I can sort of see it.
I think that's good enough. I'm going to put in about a tablespoon of crushed garlic. If you don't have pre-crushed garlic, it's approximately 3 large cloves of garlic. Wow! Too hot. Cook this for about 30 seconds. Don't burn the garlic. I also have 3 rice cups of rice that I've already rinsed. I'm gonna add that. You're gonna cook it for about 2 minutes. You just want to toast the rice a little bit and make sure that it doesn't stick to the bottom. So it's already starting to do, but that's okay. Okay, I'm gonna add the chicken broth back in. Because I used the rice cups to measure my rice, I am now going to add enough liquid to reach the 3 line, which is, you can see where the 4 is?
Yep.
So below that is 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to add water to that line, or broth, and then the remaining water. Deglaze the bottom of the pot if you need to. a little bit to get the last bits of rice, and then just add water for the remaining until you reach the 3 line. Okay, and we're just going to make sure that every kernel of rice, every grain of rice is in the liquid. Okay, lock your lid into place, making sure your sealing knob again is on sealed. And I'm going to cook the rice like I normally do, which is manual, high pressure for 4 minutes. And then I'm going to let it natural release for 10 minutes after the cooking time is done. And you'll know it's 10 minutes because the keep warm will kick in and it starts to count up to 10 minutes. I'm using a whole English cucumber, and you don't have to if you don't want to, but that's our vegetable, so that's what they get.
Now that is the classic accompanying vegetable with this dish.
Then I'm just going to arrange them on my plate, and because I have so many of them, I just kind of put them on the bottom and around the sides. And what will happen is the juices from the chicken will soak into the cucumber, and it makes them really tasty. My kids love the cucumber. All right, ta-da! And the rice has finished cooking the 4 minutes, and I'm just going to let it sit for another 10. Rice is ready. And know where to put my lid. All right. Ooh, looks yummy. Oh, smells good.
Amazing.
All right, rice is perfect. Know where to put my rice paddle either. Okay, so first I'm going to do is open up the legs and cut through. Okay, I'll do the legs first. If I can get this meat off this bone easily, then it's cooked through. Like it wouldn't fall off the bone if it wasn't cooked through. So I'm just gonna slice it lengthwise. And I think free range chicken also has a different coloration than regular chicken. It doesn't come out as white. And if you don't like having it with the skin, you can always remove it too. But we like a little bit of fat with our chicken. So I try to put all the dark meat on one side of the plate and the white meat on the other. And then I'm going to remove this wing. I want to remove it where the joint is. And the kids like to eat the wing, so I don't debone that one. Then the breast meat, what I do is I cut right down the middle, and I know that there's this bone there, so I just carefully remove the meat from, kind of slide the meat off. Still looking pretty juicy though, I have to say. Thinly slice it. And just take the whole thing, slide it over. Almost done. So now what I'll do is I'll save this carcass and throw it in a freezer bag, and then I'll make soup with it on another day once I get like a couple carcasses.
Way to get max value out of your groceries.
Yeah.
Wow, it's looking good.
So I garnished it with some cilantro, and I still have to make the sauce. So about a tablespoon of soy and a tablespoon of sesame oil. And if you need more, just equal parts sesame oil and soy sauce. Right, and then just stir it up. So all of the soy sauce will drip down into the layers, I guess, in between each chicken piece, and then onto the cucumbers below. and it'll just add flavor everywhere.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. I'm talking about the chicken, not you.
And it's probably a savings of like 20 bucks to just make it yourself. And you can feed your whole family with a whole chicken and rice and a cucumber. It's probably like 15 bucks compared to 35. And you get way more. Just saying. And now it's time for
the taste. This is one of my favorite dishes. The chicken is moist and it's very fragrant with the rice, garlic and the oil, and the fresh cilantro garnish on top. This is but a dab of the ginger and onion condiment, but we totally slather it on, get it in with the rice, the cucumber, different textures. The cucumbers can be a little bit on the cooler side, and then with the warmth of the chicken and the condiment and the rice.
perfect bite, yo.
Man, what a combination. What? That is so good. Oh, I ran out.
Yeah, you ran out of condiment.
But very good. I love it. And the kids love it too.
Perfect.
So thanks, Will.
I do miss making this on the stovetop because on the stovetop you immerse the whole chicken in water, and then that water is your broth, and there's so much of it, and that's one thing I do miss about making it over the stove. But the kasori, I have to say that overall I think it's a great value for what you get. We looked on Amazon.com today and it was $79.99, and it comes with the glass lid and the extra sealing rings, so I think it's a good value compared to the other electric pressure cookers out there. So check it out. Let us know what you think. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be notified of new videos, and come find me on Instagram. Till next time, be simple, ordinary, and joyful.